I was just sitting at work and the thought came to me, I want to go to New York Fashion Week. And I started turning this thought over in my head. And I eventually told myself, okay, I think I'll go to New York Fashion Week this weekend. I think I'll go. And as I was continuing to turn this over, I remembered I've always wanted to go, but never been able to. One of my goals is to be able to go as someone who's invited to an event. And as I was sitting and I was telling myself, I think I want to go, I realized that the word that I was telling myself was holding me back from actually taking the action of going and stepping into what it was that I already saw in my future. By limiting myself with the idea of thinking, I was stopping myself from actually going. And the second that I changed my verbiage from I think I want to go to I am going, things just started to fall into place. And so 3 days later, where was I? New York City. I was able to go with my younger brother and we had an absolutely wonderful time in New York. And it was just a great weekend, getting to see pop-ups, meet amazing people, and God just brought it all together. Now, I say this to say that there are things that you want in your future that you are holding yourself back from because of the words that you are saying. And this is a kind of natural faith sort of thing. So in my example, in the future, I wanted to go to New York Fashion Week, but I didn't really believe that I could go. And so I was just limiting myself with, I think I'll go. But once I started to say I am going, is when one, I was creating something that I would have to be accountable to. If I'm going, I have to move like I'm going. I have to prep like I'm going. I have to pick my outfits like I'm going. I have to plan the itinerary like I'm going. So I start holding myself accountable to what it is that I am doing instead of it just being an abstract thought. Secondly, you are literally speaking it into reality by saying it is what you are doing. So let's say that you have a goal that's a bit far off into the future and you keep telling yourself, I think I'm going to do this, or I want to do this. I want to be an influencer. I want to go back to school. You are very much limiting yourself, and if you even hear the words, you're either keeping yourself only in the abstract, you're not bringing things into your real life. And secondly, you're keeping things only internal to you. And while our internal lives are so important, when we speak things as they are actually happening, it actually impacts the space around us. It impacts the people around us. In my example again, if I say I'm going to New York this weekend, my friends know that I won't be around that weekend. It's like that simplicity of saying that you are doing things, it starts to change how people act around you. If you're talking to somebody, getting to know them, and you realize they're a little off and a little, a little rocky, and you say, well, I just really want a healthy relationship, so I'm not sure, I think that maybe this won't work, I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. You're leaving it very abstract. You're leaving it very out in, whatever. When you say, I'm only pursuing healthy connections and don't think that this will fit, and there may be a nicer way to say that. But when you actually say, I am, when you declare what is happening in your life, things start to move. And a big part of this is believing in what you hope to happen. And while at the end of the day, God is the only one in control, we are still called to live our lives filled with faith in what we know now. And I think as time goes on, different things can be revealed to you. You can realize that what you thought was going to happen in your future isn't what's actually going to happen, or what you thought was your purpose isn't actually your purpose, but that's really relevant. In the day and right here and right now, what you believe for your future, what you want for your future, what you know you deserve, you have to start speaking like it is happening. Even someone at work, they were, encouraging me in content creation, and they're like, you are a YouTuber. And for the longest, I would tell myself like, oh, I'm becoming a YouTuber, I want to be a YouTuber. I have like 200 videos on here, but even still, I couldn't believe and tell myself that I am a YouTuber. And that's kind of crazy when you think about it, but this is what I'm saying about limiting ourselves. Our words create our life, and if we can only create and speak small words over our lives, we put ourselves in a small box. And the bigger and bigger we're able to declare over our lives, the bigger and more opportunity we allow into our life. Now, this is going to be a short video because I do have to go, but I'm going to leave you with just a few principles to remember as you're speaking throughout your life. And remember, this is me every day. I will say something and be like, oh, I shouldn't say that. Let me cover it with another phrase, or let me cover it with a different declaration, because you're not going to be perfect in your speech over yourself. There are some days where you're just not going to be feeling it, and it just won't come out right, but it's okay to go back and correct. Okay, so there's a verse in the Bible, Luke 6:45, and it reads, "A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." So what is connecting the heart, the things that we want, the things that we desire, and the things that happen in our life, whether good or bad? Our words. Our words are the bridge between the things that are inside of us and what actually ends up manifesting in our lives. And so just remember that on your good days, the good things that you're saying are bringing life to you. On your bad days, the bad things that you're saying are bringing destruction to you, and even sometimes to the people around you. And so be very cognizant of what you allow yourself to speak. There are some things that we go through, or some feelings we feel, that are better dealt with internally and then maybe communicated with in a healthy way with a friend. But there are some moments of weakness, some moments of negativity, where it's so important to have self-control, because you don't want to just let anything come out of your mouth into the atmosphere around you. And bridging off of that, Proverbs 21:23 says, "Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity." So that self-control, that guarding, being aware of, maybe this isn't like the most fruitful thing to say. If I'm in a mode where I'm feeling hopeless, I know my girls can relate when the people in your life are just acting shiesty. Like, they're just not acting right. And you're like, "Oh, there's no good men out here." Hold it. Hold it. Reel it back. Reel it back. Then there are going to be no good men in your space. But there's going to be wonderful men in other people's space who are speaking that positivity out there. So in all areas of life, be aware of what you are saying, and not everything always needs to be said. And on the other side of that, Proverbs 16:24, "Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones." When we are in these hard times, when life is just too much to handle, your words really can make a difference. Or even putting on a positive video and listening to someone shower you with words, or calling a friend that you know is encouraging and letting them encourage you with their words, because it quite literally will impacts your soul. It impacts your mood. I mean, I don't know about you, but like, if you're having a rough day and someone comes up and gives you a really nice compliment or encourages you, it lightens the load of what you're carrying in that day. And so it's a small thing that we experience in our everyday lives, this power of words, but we can be so unaware of it. But there's so much power, joy, potential to unlock when you really start tapping into the power of your words. And we all experience this on a day-to-day to some level. And so I hope that this video encourages you to really take ownership of the words that you are speaking in your life, and to start making moves, to start moving forward, to start saying, "I am doing this. I am going back to school. I am making new friends this year." Not just that you want to, not just that you think about it, not just that you're trying, but that it is happening in your life today. Well, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the I Am podcast. My name is Jaazy, and I'm so happy to have you here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you next episode. Bye.